Hello everybody, William Murphy here. This is question 1 from chapter 1 for the course project step 1 for week 1. The first question really describes the 3 pillars of management interacting with one another. Those 3 pillars, of course, as you can see in the reading, are strategic positioning, organizational design, and individual leadership. They're described as pillars, which is, pretty appropriate. They all play a vital piece. Without one pillar, things don't really hold up so well. The prop I chose is a level. I do a lot of outdoor work. I thought it'd be kind of appropriate. I'm not sure if I'm going to see the bubbles here, but the slightest move of the one bubble directly affects the other 2. I think it's quite appropriate when discussing strategic positioning, organizational design, individual leadership. As companies, sort of refine these pillars, any slight movement to one directly affects the other 2, which just really kind of shows their interconnectedness, and that organizational design really dictates the ability, of an organizational strategy. And again, individual leaders in an organization really affect, the other 2 pillars as well, especially strategic positioning as well as organizational design. So I think the prop to be appropriate would be necessarily, a level. Speaking of firm strategy, how does that influence the design of an organization? As you can see in the reading, firm strategy really influences the design of the organization. They have to be, quick, nimble, flexible, agile. Any adjective of, perhaps a, football player, wide receiver, or, a star basketball player, they got to be quick on their feet, willing to change and adapt to different environments, which they face in the competitive world, that we're in business. And, managers influencing the strategy of an organization. Again, think of any manager or organization you've ever been part of. A manager really dictates the, tempo, the strategy there. Companies, not just a name, it's really a coalition of individuals striving towards a common goal. So again, managers are, vitally important. All right, in chapter 2, we discuss the complications, the major dimensions of the general environment, and how can managers really influence each one. As you can see in the reading, the general environment is really broken down into technological, economical, political, legal, and social cultural. Technology speaking, managers need to adapt to new technologies. That's kind of what the reading shows us. Again, your company might not be the first to a technology, but it's important that, you're always on the cutting edge of technology to, kind of read the room, see what your competitors are doing, and try to outperform them. Economically speaking, even if you're operating in different parts of the United States, labor laws are different, union situations are different. This is even a greater, exponentially different when you're going to other countries, so you need to know how to navigate those. Political and legal, if you're operating internationally, there's going to be wars, crisis, changes of political environments, political parties that might dictate and really change the, operating environment as a manager internationally in different countries. That's something that's kind of out of your control, but something that you're going to have to navigate and confront, hopefully not, but quite potentially. And then social cultural, you need to be, aware and recognize that if you're operating in different countries, there's different cultures and norms and things to be sensitive of, for your workers and the company as a whole. If you're operating, let's say, a team in Uganda, it's going to be a lot different than if you're operating a team in, let's say, Peru or, Japan or, Croatia, different dynamics. I think the hardest for a manager to really control out of these is political and legal. No matter what you do as a manager, you can't stop a revolution, you can't stop a different political party from getting to power. Crisis, famine, it's kind of out of your control, kind of a wild card. All right, question 3 from chapter 3 discusses personal values and beliefs. Where do my values come from, and who or what has shaped, my perspective on business and leadership? I think my general personal values and beliefs come from, my faith and just a general moral compass I think we're all born with. I think, I kind of play off that. I've always been interested in religion and philosophy as well, even outside of my faith, which has definitely kind of enriched, I think, my, my values and my beliefs. I love to read, Marcus Aurelius for one. St. Thomas Aquinas is another, one of my, certainly one of my favorites to read philosophical wise. Listen to a lot of philosophical podcasts. Socrates, Plato, Aristotle. I kind of learn off those as well. I think from a kind of business perspective, in the reading, I know it talks about utilitarianism and then Kantianism. I think if I was to compare the two, I'm more of a Kantianist. I'm a, Kantianism, kind of buy into a little more of that philosophy. When companies do actions, it really matters why they're doing it. It comes down kind of to the core of their character, both from C-suite down to the whole organization as a whole. Why are they doing these things? What's kind of the motive? So I think that Kantianism in the reading definitely reflects my personal beliefs and views and philosophy more than utilitarianism does. Respectfully, of course. And perspectives on business and leadership, they've definitely been influenced by the great managers I've had throughout time. Since I got, graduated college, I've really been blessed to have an amazing group of managers, each their own style, philosophy, views. Some that I didn't necessarily fully embody in my own view, but I think each of them has been, sort of an ingredient to the recipe of my current view.